Matthew 22, verse 34 to verse 40, the greatest commandment. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which of which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Now, a lot of people does want to dismiss the Ten Commandments and say, just love everybody. Just love God and love your neighbor as yourself. But what people don't understand is that the Ten Commandments is encapsulated in the red words that you see in the words of Jesus Christ. It is encapsulated because when you read the Ten Commandments, you will observe that the first four commandments is really for you to love God with all your heart. Okay, remember God telling you don't have no other gods before me. Don't have any graven images. Don't call his name in vain. And the fourth one, he tell you, remember to keep this Sabbath, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. That is to to have a proper relationship with Almighty God. That is what I call a vertical relationship. And then the second is, right? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you love your neighbor as you love yourself, you will not steal, you will not kill, you will not covet, right? Your mother could be a neighbor too. You'll honor your mother and father. But that's the fifth commandment, right? And all of these things, so that's a horizontal relationship, your relationship with man, right? So God, the Ten Commandments are divided four. The first four is for God, the last six is for man. And the sooner we realize that, the better it will be for all of us. You understand? Because a lot of people will go around and tell you, you don't need to keep the Ten Commandments no more, da, 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 da. But Jesus Christ encapsulated the Ten Commandments right here. In these verses right here. All of the Ten Commandments are summarized right here. In these three verses here. 3 or 4 verses right here. It is the Ten Commandments is encapsulated. If God wrote the commandments with his fingers, you think he would come now and tell you, throw away the Ten Commandments? Come on. Remember it say, yeah. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That is the first commandment. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness, or anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, is a jealous God, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and show mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Right? Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that take his name in vain. Right? So that's the first three commandments. This is the fourth commandment now. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou shalt not, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Right? You see the Bible even have a notation here. Commandment related to man. That is mankind. Right? See what it says here? The fifth commandment. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So here we clearly see the first four dealing with our vertical relationship, and the last six dealing with our horizontal relationship, our relationship with our fellow man. Right? So my friends, don't this is how we have to live our life to please Almighty God, by keeping his commandments. And it is very disappointing when some pastors tell you this word here has been nailed to the cross. No, this was not nailed to the cross. Right? This is God's ultimate word. This is his character. Right? And if this is nailed to the cross, well, then we do have to honor my mother and father. We could cuss up your mother and still get a blessing. We could kill people. Right? We could commit adultery. And then we could worship other gods. That is what it say up here. Right? You can make your graven image and bow down to it. So when you hear people saying these things, and we do have to worship God on the seventh day, as he commanded us, right? When we do these things, when we live in this manner, we end up in a situation whereby we are dishonoring God to the max. You understand? So this is the character of God. And God is immutable. God cannot lie and he cannot change. These laws were written with the finger of God. So now we look at Hebrews 6:17 and 18, wherein God, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things in which it was impossible for God to lie, we might have strong consolation, whose fled of refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us. Right? So God cannot change, he cannot lie. That's the immutability of God. He can't change and he can't lie. Right? Then now we look now at Exodus 31 verse 18. After God has given him the 10 commandments, right? Look what happens here now. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communion with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tablets of testimony, that's the 10 commandments, right? Tablets of stone written with the finger of God. So, for people to still this day and age be telling people that the 10 commandments are nailed to the cross, that's very, very unfortunate. Because why would an almighty God who created from the foundation of the earth write his tablet in stone with his own fingers? Right? And when Moses went down the first time with it, he had to come back up and it was written again. So God wrote it twice, the same thing twice. Right? And then people still saying that nailed to the cross. You understand? So we need to have God's character in our heart. And the 10 commandments is the character of God. Alright? So people have a blessed day And remember to always keep God's in your heart.